There are very few things that are certain in life. Death, taxes, and me picking the wrong PGA Tour winner. I'm 0-2. I wish I could tell you that the voices in my head and in my gut that are telling me these winners were quieting. When you lose like this, it's not that the voices go away. They get louder. It's actually starting to give me stomach issues. How to listen to my gut when I can't trust my gut. Gotten where I am, again, 17-9 record this NFL season, 17-9, by trusting my gut. Please say a prayer for me. Please be thinking of me. My stomach is in knots because the voices have not stopped. When you commit to a gambling segment on a show on the internet and you call it something like Sure Things, you can't quit just because you take a couple losses. You gotta try again. And this is not only for me. I'm going through this for you, for the people, because a guaranteed loss is still a guaranteed. So you're welcome. We will be talking about the Players' Championship because, like I said, you got to get back on that saddle. We are going to talk March Madness a little bit. So the highlight of this last Arnold Palmer's Invitational is obviously not me calling the wrong winner, but of course a young Akshay Bhatia getting his first win on tour. I believe he's 23, 24 years old, something like that. But congratulations to Akshay. That's a big tournament, nice little paycheck. I know for a fact we're not going to count on Akshay to do anything at the Players' Championship. I just don't see how you can win as much money as you win on a PGA Tour event and somehow show up the next week and do it all over again. You know, might be a good idea to take Akshay to not make the cut because the odds on that will probably actually make you some money. And frankly, I think that's more likely following your first ever PGA Tour win than another top 10, top 20 finish. So this is Sure Things. This is a gambling show. Maybe we play with it a little bit. Who knows? I don't know. You can't always call the positives when it comes to gambling. Sometimes you got to go the negative route. Sometimes you got to face it. The negative things are a part of sports. It is what it is. Sometimes it's okay to make money on it. Doesn't mean you want people to play bet. It just means you know things happen. So, look out for that. This week, Players' Championship, it's loaded. You got your Scotty Scheffler, you got your Rory McIlroy, you got your Justin Rose, you've got all of the players except the LIV guys are going to be there because it's not a major. Who do I like? Who are we going with? Who should you potentially hedge to do absolutely nothing? I don't know if I can give you just one name. I need to recover a little bit. I need you to know that my gut is still in this. I'm fighting through cramps. I'm finding a way. I like Tommy. I like Ludwig. I think those are guys that if you watch them day by day, you take them to make some birdies, you take them to hit some fairways, maybe you take them to finish in the top 5, top 10, something like that. I think that's the way to go, but I think I'm going to make a pivot. And I might just keep it to football season because I'm a coward. Let's face it. I'm a Sally. I don't know. Gambling is for football. Gambling is for football. Gambling record is for football. Gambling on golf is reckless, and it's what we do to pass the time. So I'm done keeping a record. I need to make a pivot. Reminder, it's March. Michigan is my team. Take them to win the Big Ten. Take them to win it all. I have given you that as a sure thing that we're going to ride out for the next few weeks. 2 teams that I always pull for. Michigan, of course, and then UConn. And I know. Another team that's arguably one of the best teams in the country. Tyson, don't you have any balls? Can't you pick somebody who actually, has to grind it out every year? Listen. When I was in elementary school, 4th, 5th grade, something like that, the classes, we did a bracket, but there was a draft. I happened to end up with UConn, and I think it was when they had Kemba Walker, and they were a 4 or 5 seed, something like that, if I remember correctly. This was really before I started seriously getting into basketball, so I didn't know much at all. I think if it was 5th grade, that was the first year I played basketball. If it was 4th grade, I hadn't even started yet. So I got UConn in the class draft, and they won it all that year. And so they've always had sort of a special place in my heart of the team that I got at the very beginning for the very first March Madness that I actually participated at some level in was the team that won it all, and it was the UConn Huskies. So I have to always keep a special place for them in my heart. That is why I had to make sure I say that, because if I just go around saying, yeah, Michigan and UConn are my teams, I'm going to get looked at like the worst bandwagoner of all time. And if you want to say it now still, you want to think that I'm making stuff up from my childhood, go right ahead. But, it's the truth. And I vow to give you the truth every single week on this show, and I will never not do that. So don't ride or die with my golf stuff. You're going to have to hedge it sometimes. You're going to have to ride it sometimes. You're going to have to use your own gut to make that decision. But always take calculated risks when it comes to my golf picks. However, when it comes to basketball, I think you would be very wise to take the Michigan Wolverines to win the whole dance, take the Michigan Wolverines to win their conference tournament, and always sprinkle a little dough on the UConn Huskies, because you can't ever count them out. That's another edition of Sure Things. I'll see you next week.